Good morning, Hop Day. So, I wanted to do another crafting video, specifically to do more acrylic painting because if you guys are, not new to my channel, you saw that I did a joint live stream with Terry of Terry's Just Doing Her Thing. If you're not subscribed to her already, make sure you go check out her channel. But ever since I did that live stream with her, I've been doing nothing but thinking about what else I wanted to try in reference to techniques for doing acrylic painting. Because these are the results from that live stream. And although I'm not 100%, not pleased with them, I had hoped they would come out a little better, but yeah, there we go. Okay. This was the first one from that live stream. Okay. And then this was the second one. And the cells that you see, the cells are like these bubbles that you see throughout the painting. Those are the things that I try to create whenever I'm doing acrylic painting. And this one was done through a dirty pour, which basically you're just putting the painting into a cup, and you either take that cup and do it like this and then let the paint ooze out of the cup, or really you just dump the whole thing like that, give it a minute or two for the paint to drop down, and then release, and then you just work with it. But this was painting number 2. No, I'm sorry. This was painting number 3. This was painting number 2. But good morning, half a day. Okay. Go back to where you were. So in this live stream, I am going to be doing 2 techniques that I've seen before and I have yet to try. So I hope you guys will hang out with me and see how it comes out. Did I forget it? Where'd it go? Looking for my gloves. Where'd my gloves go? No? Oh, that is my gloves. Okay. And I believe I'm still missing one of my tools. Hey, babe? Are you down there? I forgot that little plastic piece. The one that I cut off from the bottle. I know I'm torturing my hubby by going up and down the stairs from stuff that I need. But can you grab? Boy, you're so quick. Sorry, never mind. I won't. Where?
I don't know what it is you're talking about. That's the only stuff that was left right there.
The stuff that I cut off from the bottom
Oh, yeah.
of the cup. No,
Did that up here.
no, I did that down there. I don't see it on the table. Okay, hold on. I was gonna say more gloves. Okay, I am missing one of my tools, so bear with me, y'all. What did I do with it? That's my drinking cup. It's not in there, not in there. I had to have left it downstairs. It's not on the table. I'm having already technical difficulties this morning because it was that plastic piece that I had cut off from the drink. It might be where your coffee stand is at. You found it? I know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Thank you. Okay, as we were. Hey, Alyssa, thank you for dropping in. Hopefully you'll hang out with me and do some crafting. Okay, so this was the piece that I was talking about. Terry got to do this in our live stream together, and her piece came out awesome. So I wanted to give it a try, and finally I have my own piece. Basically, that just sits on top of your painting or your canvas, and then you pour the paint directly on top as it comes down the sides. For the most part, because of the design of the bottom, it comes out looking like a flower. So that's one technique I'm going to do on one painting. The other one is also something that I saw that I wanted to give a try. Concept is a little similar to using, something like this. But using a cup. The only downside is with this cup, normally it has such a high lip right here. I know that I don't know if how well this type of technique is going to work. Because the idea is that I'm going to puncture holes around, kind of like this has 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this one. I'm pretty much going to do the same thing and do maybe 5 or 6 points on this one, and just pour the paint in there, and it's going to be oozing out. So I don't know, but the idea, if the lip wasn't so high, that it was going to sit on top of something, and I put that down, I'm pouring the paint, and the paint, because there'll be just a tad bit of space between the cup and the canvas, that the paint will still be oozing out. So that's the idea. So we're going to test that out. Otherwise, it's going to be one of those things where I might have to every now and then, just to let the paint escape, just to be gently lifting the cup. And so we'll see. We're going to test that out. We're going to test it out. That's the joy of, doing stuff like this, and seeing how it comes out. All right, so before we actually do this one, I want to go ahead and at least prep the cup. So we're going to go ahead and put the holes. And I don't want to make that too small, because I want the paint to be able to come out at a decent speed. Might have to make them just a little bigger than this. And they're not exactly evenly mapped out at that. So maybe there'll be more than 6 holes in here. Okay, maybe we'll have like 8. Not too big. You think that's probably too small? That it might take a while for the paint to ooze out of there? Might have to make them bigger. What do you guys think? Making them just a tad bigger. There. I don't know if you guys can really tell the difference, but maybe I shouldn't have done it that way. Now I got something in my eye. Trying to make sure I don't rub whatever I got into my eye. But we are going to be doing some painting today. Acrylic painting, that is. I'm going to be doing 2 techniques. I'm going to be using this to help, hopefully. And good morning to you, Tay. I'm just going to say Tay if that's okay. I'm going to be using this as one of my techniques. Pouring different color paint on top of this as it slides down the sides. The idea on this one is that it's going to create a flower. While on this one, concept is a little bit the same to where I'm going to have this sitting. As you can see, I just got through puncturing holes in there. It's going to be sitting on top of the canvas. As once again, I'll be pouring the paint into it as it slowly oozes out. And again, the question was, that's the size that I punctured into the cup, the holes, because again, the bottom lip of this cup is higher than I wanted it to be or expected it to be, because the thought was, and I could always just maybe, I don't know, sit it on top of that and then let because it's not covering the holes. I don't know how well that will work, but because that is a bit too high. There we go. I need to find, those are the taller cups. Let's see if I can find the small cups. Maybe I could use this one instead because it is shorter. It is shorter than that one. Maybe I can do it that way because again, the base of this cup is smaller, so it won't block the holes. And then just sit it on top of that. And then the gravity, I guess, that should work better. Yeah, the gravity being that it will be sitting a little bit higher. Good morning, Kat. Thank you for joining. Hop a day. So maybe doing it this way, the gravity will help make the paint come out a little faster. So again, we will test this out. All right, so that's one method. This is the other method. And I am just using small 8x10 canvases. And the first one we are going to work on is the on a black canvas. And today I am using my spin board because once I lay down the paint on here and I remove it, and oops, don't want to lose that because maybe I should have made it a little bit longer. I could always just use the ends of the paint brushes. But now the question is what color to use. Now the last time I did, I did use some of this Gold Rush to try, but I believe this was too thick. So I did have this kit on my previous live stream, but I never touched it. So this time I'm going to use it. But it does have basically, it is by Master's Touch. That's the brand. It has a kit full of different pre-mixed pouring acrylics, but this one has silver and gold. So I'm definitely going to be using one or both of these in the projects today. But I'm trying to figure out, okay, so this is going to be the flower. And I'm probably going to use the navy as the base, but I'm trying to figure out what colors to use. So I want silver in there. And the other cool thing about this kit by Master's Touch, and like I said, it has 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bottles in there. But it also has, as one of those bottles, the cell medium. So I'm going to throw that into one of the mixtures, and as I pour that in here. Not too much of this, but so I'm probably just going to create a cup of the white with some of that cell medium. And a lot of the other ready to pour acrylics that I'm using is by Deco Art. Because when I first started messing with this years ago, I was using just regular acrylic paint, and then I would mix it with some type of medium to help thin it out. But basically that's what this is. I'm going to pour a decent amount in here because I'm going to use it in both paintings. Let me see if this is open. Nope, not open. I don't have much of nails anymore. I don't want to use that. I'm going to put stuff into the... Oh, come on. Give me. Why are they making it so rough, tough? Okay. There we go. So I only put about 7 drops in there. Not too much, I guess. for the amount of paint. And let's just get that mixed. I might have to add more white into this. All right. So like I said, I'm going to use I'm going to be using the navy as my base. Good morning, Corey. Thank you for joining. How's it going? All right. Mikey, good morning. All right. Okay, so it's not as dark as I thought it was going to be, so I'm going to use some of the, these are all not open. So I just opened this kit. How's it going, Mike? Opening these bottles are giving me a hassle. But I just do with it. I'm going to have to do this with all the paints. Because they don't want to open easily for me. What'd you say? This will put me at $50 in less than 2 hours. Nice, Corey. They sent me $6.50. Starbucks might be good status in the next few days. Nice. At least you're having a good start to your day. That's awesome. After this, after I'm done doing this live stream, we're also going to get out there and work a little bit. Okay. So I know I put down some of the navy down on the canvas already, but I'm gonna also just still, I know it's a black. Oh, come on. Don't tell me you're not gonna, what the heck? Why aren't you? Don't do this to me. Come on. Why aren't you pouring? Am I just gonna have to cheat and then do it this way? My paints don't want to work with me this morning, so I'm just gonna do it this way. Because it's already a black canvas, I don't want to make it completely black, so I want it to have just a little bit of color in there. I really shouldn't have the fan on in here, but it does get warm in here, so just gonna make like a square base on here initially, and then go from there. Try to spread this out, not exactly towards the edges yet. You know, that's the benefit of having um, what do you call that? This turn base. It's easier to turn it around. It is, I like my little turn base here, but I still have the plastic wrapping that it came with, so got to make up for beginning of the week because I was sick. So I take it you're feeling a lot better, and if so, I'm glad to hear that. All right. So, being that this is a darker base, I want to keep it lighter in reference to the colors, or brighter at least. So I'm going to use red in this one. Red, yellow. I will be using white, and I'm probably going to use a little bit of silver in this as well. Sinus infections are bad. Juju, aren't they? They just make you feel like crap. Just messing with your day. Okay, that is so weird. That's why it's not working. What the heck? How am I supposed to get that piece out? It's solid under there. There's another piece in there. And I don't know if that's supposed to help, you know, from keeping the paint drying out. But if you look in the hole there, it looks like a solid. That's why it's not pouring out, even though I punctured the wrapping on the black one over there. It's because there's something still in there. So I don't know if I'm supposed to puncture that, remove it. I don't think I've ever seen that in the paint. So it's forcing me just to pour directly from the bottle. But I already shook it up, but I'm going to go ahead and shake it up again. So I am going to use a little bit of silver in this one. Should I do 4 colors? Emerald green. All right, which should I do? Emerald green or, oh no, this is emerald green or turquoise. This is deep turquoise. I mean, the emerald green is darker. I have more of the emerald green. So let's do emerald green. Give those just one more shake. And I will be pouring some white in there as well. Like I said, I'm probably going to have to add more white to this for the other project. Okay. All right. So we put this in the center for the most part. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? I mean, even the cut on this one here is not perfect. So emerald green. All right. That's what I chose. Thanks, Mike. Okay. So I think we're going to start with red. It almost looks like a Christmassy color. Let's see if I can get you guys closer. Oh, now Now it comes out. So now this I can actually pour directly from the bottle with the lid. Okay. All right, let's pour a little bit of this white. And then let's repeat. Can you guys see it pooling down there? This is pretty much what's happening on all the sides. Let's give you guys from the top. I have to make sure I'm holding on to my phone. Can you guys see that? Because I'm using an 8x10 canvas, you don't have to use a lot of paint, but I'm going to do one more round. I kind of changed it up on this last round. One more bit of silver. And just a little bit more white. If you put that upside down, I will. You'll donate 1,000 what? Is the other question. It is upside down. Doesn't that count already? Now, this is my first time working with this specific tool to try and get this flower. I'm hoping I put enough paint down. I'm wondering if I should do one more. I'm going to finish it off with deep turquoise. And again, from the top point of view, look at that. It's pretty cool. Trying to make sure my phone doesn't fall off my phone holder there. What'd you say, Mike? You can also turn the camera upside down, which will make it right side up. Loophole for defying the laws of physics. True, true. Very true. Okay. So let's go ahead and remove this. Oh. Why can't you get closer? What's blocking it? There we go. All right, we're going to remove this. And now using the tip of a paintbrush. Y'all, don't forget while you're here, don't forget to smash that like button, please, and thank you. We are going to make sure that the petals really keep their shape to define the petals. So I believe it was going in this way. Like I said, it's the first time I'm doing this, and this is just based off of what I've seen with Terry doing it and other YouTube channels. But I believe they just brought it in. And then the other thing to help define the petals, and I don't want to mess it up. There's some cells already, cell magic taking place right here on the top part of the petals. I don't want to mess it up, but let's mess it up. All we're going to do is drag this out to create the tips of the petal. Let's see if this came down. Yep. the what was blocking the paint from coming out, it did come down. Now I'm going to go ahead and adding a little bit more paint because I don't know, honestly. I'm just going off of what I've seen and what I remember seeing on the videos. So from this step, what I can do is I can either give this a spin and it's going to draw out the paint. A woman from ancient times once said, Melissa is a heckin' don't painter. And that man was my sister. I don't have a sister, but that painting is very nice. Thank you, Mike. It's not done yet, but thank you. So what I can do from this step is just give it a spin and it'll draw out. That's why I finally put the paint on the edges, closer to the edge. So then that way it can help the paint, the rest of the other paint flow. And it doesn't just stop where there's no paint. I want it to flow. Or the other technique that I saw is what they call a dip painting. And she used a napkin, and I can't remember the name of her channel, but I saw that she used a napkin in one video, and then I've seen where they took plastic, which to me, it looked like wax paper. You lay it on top, and then you carefully draw up the edges, and the end effect, I mean, like I said, this is what you guys are seeing right now. Here's from the top point of view. That does look nice already, but the dip effect, from what I've seen in different videos, is it kind of gives it more of that blurred look. And their paintings always came out awesome. So if mine can come out even just a smidge close to that, I want to try. I want to try. So we are going to try. I just want to make sure I don't have any dry spots. No dry spots. All right. So all I saw that was done is, let's see if we can do it that way. Just folding this in half. So I hope I don't end up ruining this. So scared. Thank you, Jimmy, and thank you for popping in. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's why you got to be careful when you lay this down, because I already got like some air pockets where I folded it, which I probably shouldn't have done that. But because it might not pick up the paint. But cross your fingers that this still comes out pretty decent. What do you guys think? Now, at least for the outer rim, I don't want to remove more paint than I need to. But even here in the center, it looks like it's absorbing. Okay, where's my trash bag? Oh. Well, you gotta mess with my trash bag. My trash bag became a trash bag. Okay. All right. Okay. skirt. And you use UV resin paint, then cure it with UV light to do that artwork. I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, I myself have mixed acrylic paint with resin. I haven't done it yet with UV resin, so I don't know. All right, here we go. Hopefully I didn't mess this up. Release my painting. All right, release. So you carefully draw up the edges. Yeah, here we go. Ah, no, I messed it up. It doesn't really look like a, well, from the angle of the camera, my phone, it still looks like a flower. I mean, that still looks pretty darn cool. And it don't, right now from this angle, it's looking a little bit more like a flower. I mean, a butterfly. But look at that. Here, let's give you an aerial view. Look at that. Does that look more like a butterfly than a flower? Isn't that pretty cool? Look at the cell action. You see the bubbles around there? Or the dots? That is so stinking cute. Okay. So I'm happy with the way this one. Now, the other idea is that because there's still enough loose paint on the outside, and there's still some cell action taking place. The idea, I mean, what I can still do to keep the formation of the petals and whatnot is I can still draw it in right here, and it'll still form the petals. It does look like a flower. Thank you. So I'm wondering. It looks great as it is. I know. But what I want to do is I'm probably still going to give this just a little bit of a spin and see what else we can get out of it. Because there's still enough paint around the edges to get it to fan out. So I'm gonna give it a spin, not a hard spin, but so let's see. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to give it probably more of a spin than that, but all right, let's try it again. Spin that wheel. It's really looking more like a butterfly, isn't it? Should I give it one more spin? Don't play with this at home, kids. But let's go ahead and pop some bubbles. And the other reason why I want to spin it again is because the paint still is pretty thick in the center. Um, but this is still looking really good. You want a top view one more time? Okay. I mean, I still see both. I see butterfly, I see flower. I still kind of want to define the petals. No, looks like a flower. Thank you. Okay. All right, I have to give this one more spin. Maybe two more. I don't want to spin it too hard, only because my workspace isn't exactly large. So I don't need paint flying too. And I don't want my canvas to fly off the board either. That's probably why it's not. It's because um can you guys hear the siren? It's probably why it's not spreading as well as it could. Because yeah, they're testing the siren. Is because there's a lot less paint on the outer rim. So it's a lot thicker right here where the main paint piece is at. Hey Mario, half a day and good morning. So this definitely will take, at the minimum, 2 days to completely dry, because the center, um, what do you call that, has a lot of paint. So while the outer rim, because when I first started it, I didn't add a lot of paint there. So I don't know if I should, the next time I try this method with using the bottom of a bottle that has the ridges at the base, if I should just go ahead and make sure I completely cover from corner to corner. So then that way, when I do the dip, whenever I do the dip, I got to make sure too that when I lay it down that I get enough of the center, because it does draw, and that's what kind of gives it a little bit of that blur, but it does draw the paint from the outside closer to the center. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do the next time I do this. Um, Hey, Terry. Good morning. Oh, good morning. You're trying the little bottom cup thing. Yes, I am. And the spinner, I am. So it's kind of a mix between a butterfly and a flower. I see both. Looking at the camera, I'm seeing a flower, but looking at this in person, I'm seeing a butterfly. So, but this is pretty cool. It really is pretty, pretty cool. Um, how's it going? Are you out there working? All right, let's see if I can do this. Okay. Hand is shaking a little. Not working, cleaning before hubby returns home. Okay. All right. So, remember Terry that on our joint live stream, I said I had this box off to the side that had other acrylic paint in it. Well, it's by Master's Touch, and it was pre-mixed acrylic paint, pouring paint. But what it also had in there is this, because I never paid attention to it until this morning when I was wanting to do this. But it also has the cell medium. So I put a little bit of this into white paint, but I also have gold and silver, which you don't really see too much of the silver in this, but let me give this one more spin and see. But I did use silver in this. One more spin. Okay, one more look from the top. Like I said, with this one here, it's kind of take a few days because it's very thick right here in the center. But I don't know if you were here in time to see it, Terry, but I did this as a dip. I laid down some of my wax paper after I was done doing the pouring. And I laid down some of the wax paper on top, and then I withdrew it, and it pulled up some of the paint. And what I really love about doing that technique is that it gives it that blur look to it. So now I'm going to put this over there on the side to start the drying process. And then we're going to go on to the second technique that I wanted to do today. Just so it doesn't get to the... I still have the plastic on this. But with the white one, what I was planning, it's like dipping the balloon. Yes. Yes. And that's something when we do another joint live stream, Terry, that's probably what I'd like to try that technique then too. But I couldn't wait. That's why I had to try these two techniques using the bottom of a bottle. And then the other technique that I'm going to use this morning is this one. I don't know if you've ever done it. This cup, if you're going to ever use a coffee cup like this, the to-go ones, the lip on it is pretty high. But the idea for the regular cups, like if it was more of this shape, when you poke the holes at the bottom, you put it there and it's going to be oozing out. It actually, you would do it like this. And as the paint is oozing out, you know, very similar concept to that one. But with this one here, I'm going to be doing it like that. And it's got 2, 4, 6, 8 holes in there. But that's the idea. The question is, like a strainer, yes. Have you done this one before? Get some Floetrol. I need to. I do. But this right now, at least I have this, the cell medium. And right now, the only one that I have it. Oh, and I see, that's why I can't wait. I can't wait for us to do another crafting party with more people. But right now, the white is the only one that I have that cell medium in, which I'm probably going to create another cup. So that I have more than just the white creating the cell action. I'm debating on whether to add a base. Shows it's not leveled. But I'm debating on whether to add a base to help with the flow or keep it dry. When you did it, did you have a base down or did you just pour it? Because I know when you add the base, it'll help with the flow as it spreads. You had a base? Okay. Let's go ahead and add a base. So the first one was a black canvas. This is a white canvas. I haven't decided what I'm doing. I'm going to do a all right, let's just go with the flow. Yellow and white. I know it's already a white canvas, but I like that mixed look. You know, that's one thing I do like about having the Lazy Susan is that it does help if I'm wanting to get to different sides. It's a bright background for sure. All right, so I used red, so I'm not going to use that. I used emerald green on the first one, so I'm not going to use that. I already have my lemon as a part of the backdrop. So I think on this one, I'm going to use blue violet. I am going to use probably a little bit of the black in this mix. And this time I'm going to use some gold. Typically have a base for every technique I do. Okay. See, this time, this piece came out. The first two times I didn't realize that that was stuck up in there. And I was like, why is it giving me a hard time on pouring? And then come to find out that's what it was. I was like, how rude. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of gold. But okay. Let's get something. No, Wicket. You can't come in. I know it's terrible. You can't come in. So this one says that it is, no, Wicket. Stop it. No. Go see Grandpa. This one says that it is a lilac petals. Lilac petals is the color for this one. See, it doesn't want to come out. Let me see if I can do that again. Shake it up. Come on. Typically gold comes to the surface. Should I, because I want to do one of the other colors with a little bit of the cell medium. Let's see if that piece comes down. Did it come down? It's being stubborn. It doesn't want to come down. Now I have to just pour it directly from the bottle like this. What's all that banging? Darn it. Doesn't want to come out. Okay. So what should I I would like to talk to you on the phone about doing the live stream with multiple people. Okay. Sounds like a plan. But the earliest I will be available would probably be Tuesday. Because after we're done here, going to eat, then we're going to head out to work. And we're doing an all-day thing on Sunday as well. And I don't know how many of you guys have done this before, but I've got jury duty on Monday. Have no idea how long it's going to take. So, and then Monday night is my eldest granddaughter's first school concert. So we'll be going to that one. So Tuesday. If you're available Tuesday, we can make any time of that day. All right. Let's do a little bit of this one with the cell medium. Just a little bit. I did about 5-6 drops in there. Let's give that a quick mix. Probably could add a little bit more of the paint itself. Okay, now I have this lilac and the white mixed with the cell medium. And we'll see how that comes out. That's part of the fun. Just like a few minutes. No problem. Don't need to talk for a long time, just like a few minutes. But you know how we'll be. That will be the intention. Okay. All right. So again, I'm using blue violet, some black, some gold. I've got lilac in this one with a little bit of the cell medium. And I also have white, which that has a little bit of the cell medium in there. And we'll see what kind of action we get. Again, this is the first time I'm doing this technique, so have no idea how it's going to come out. But we can only hope for the best. All right. There's that. Make sure the cup isn't blocking any of the holes. All right. Here we go. Again, this is, you know what? I don't have a lot left of that color. Did I use? I'm going to use the true blue instead of that blue violet. All right, here we go. All right, so there's that. We're going to add some just without the cell medium. I didn't even think about the fact that it's going to be oozing down the side of the cup like that. So one more shake. Let's drop this down a little bit so you guys can actually see what's happening on the side of the cup. Let's go and add some of the white. It's really pouring more. So something tells me I didn't make the holes on this side big enough because it's not oozing out of this side like it is out of all the other holes. And this is what it looks like from the top. Doesn't look full, but you see what I mean? It's oozing out more out of this side than it is out of all the other sides. So, I mean, I thought that I had done the holes evenly, but apparently I didn't. So, like I said, it's definitely oozing out of that side a lot more than it is out of the other. But it's interesting because as it continues to fall out, move the cup toward the slower side. Trying to help the paint come. I probably should have added a little bit of water to this too, to make it even for a situation like, to do this type of drip pour. I probably should have added some water to this to make it just a tad bit more liquidy, so it'll be easier to ooze out of the cup. I don't see any of the gold. I don't see any gold coming out. Come on, give me some of my gold. Drop some of that gold. Oh, okay. I see very, very little gold here. There it is. The gold is finally starting to come down. Can you guys see that? There's some gold coming down right there. Give me some more gold. There's gold in that cup. Give me some more. Give me some more. But I don't know if you guys can see it there too. So there's gold coming out of the cup right there. But there's also gold right there. Check out the other sides. But what I love here, I just love, because as it keeps pouring out of the cup or dripping out of the cup, all these lines that it created right here, I just love. And then this one here almost looks like a tornado right here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. But what I love is just that all those mini lines, the mini lines it's creating. But there's some gold coming down there. There's some gold finally coming down there. I love the two-tone mixture. Look at that. And there's some gold right there. And there is some cell action taking place as well. Come on. Let's see what's left in the cup. It's pretty much at the bottom. The purple doesn't want to seem, doesn't look like it's, there's still a lot of the lilac still in the cup. But I can't wait. Once I remove the cups, give me some more. Give me some more. Give me some more. All right. Let's twist this one more time. There's still a lot of paint in there. So the next time I try this technique, I want to make sure that the holes are just going to be bigger than what this one is. And I'm probably going to water whatever colors I decide to use. I'm going to make sure I have water with me and dilute it just a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit to make it just a tad bit more runny. And I have seen some channels that do work with acrylic paint, especially when they're doing pours. Not necessarily this technique, but whenever they pop up on the screen what they're using, it does say acrylic with water. Is that all you're gonna give me? Come on, give me some more. I'm wondering if this is gonna be enough. I'm seeing more gold come down here. Okay, so I'm curious now with the remaining paint, if I should do it just like a dirty pour in the center. I think that's what I'm going to do. Or how am I going to do this? I mean, because it's not dripping too much. That's what's left in there. I think I am going to do it just as a somewhat of a dirty pour in the center. I don't know what I'm making here, but like I said, I have no idea what I'm doing here. One more. All right, let's give it a little spin. That really is a little spin. One more. Bigger spin. Trying to get more cell action to take place. I love the way the gold mixes right there. Did my chat stop? But look at that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the pan over here to prop it up so it can continue to dry. But what I'm loving about what's taking place is that if y'all can't see that, there's a lot of cell action going on. What looks like speckles on here. But the gold did come to the top here and right here, but it keeps falling off the side as the paint is still continuing to settle. Is it still sliding? Okay. I don't want to leave it on. Hey Presley, half a day, Ma. Thank you guys for popping in. Thank you, Terry. NATO. So this is painting number 1. Let me see if I can get a lot of this paint off my board. Still has the plastic on it, so. But I wanted to try 2 different techniques before before I join any other crafting. I just couldn't wait. I just couldn't wait. I had to try it out to see how it was going to work. So, Probably gonna have to find a different way. I'm just gonna remove the plastic off of this and find a different way to cover this. My lazy Susan. But let me remove this. So y'all can see the second one. Picasso. Pretty much Picasso. Definitely got to make sure that my Wicket doesn't make it in here, because she's still been sneaking in here. Even after I put stuff to prevent her from opening the door, she still finds a way. She's like, I'm going to get in there, Grandma. No matter what you do, I'm coming in. Okay. Let me remove this so y'all. Good morning. Half a day. All right, let me turn this around. There you go. All right, so this is actually painting number 1. Press and seal, and I have some of that. Thanks for the tip, Terry. But again, there's painting number 1. This one, I use this little tool right here, just like Terry did in our previous joint live stream. And I had to give it a try. I was impatient. From a different angle. So tell me, what do you see? What does your mind tell you you're looking at? Hey, Pancake. Good afternoon, right? It's afternoon? No, it's 11:58 Texas time. So good morning. How's it going? But what do you see here? What does your mind tell you you're looking at? Thank you. Because I'm telling you, I see both. I see both a flower and a butterfly. Because there's the stem of the butterfly, of the flower, but it could also be the antenna for the butterfly, or that could be the antenna up there. And then these are the wings. But again, I see also the flower, because there is the middle, I don't know what you would call that, like the hibiscus that you would see in the center. See, the outside is already drying, because when I did the dip, it pulled so much paint from the outside. The outside's already starting to dry. All right, so that was painting number 1. And then here's painting number 2. I see a face from this angle. But what I'm really liking about this one is all the cells that are developing as it continues to dry, especially. I might take the torch to it one more time, but I love that the gold came through. I love all the cell action. The ones that were generated by the heat as I took the torch to it, but then there was also cells forming on its own. And that's just a chemical reaction between the paint mixture as well as having the cell medium mix in there. Again, I love the way the gold came out there, there, and here. But there's one angle. What do you guys see? Do you guys see the woman? Or some type of creature? And turning. Let's look at it from this angle. What do you guys see? Oops, fingers getting in the way. Don't drop my phone. What do you guys see from that angle? Hope it doesn't like me wanting to turn it. Like a hurricane brewing? I can see that. Pistol. Or that's right, I should have known that from Greece. The stain. I see it's either like a creature or a woman or something, because there's the head, and then there's the flowing hair, and then there's the remaining of the body. But I do see like the storm brewing, and it's like going in this direction. It's Batman. Hey, Lexi. You see Batman? But look at the first one. First one I was able to create with this thing. And then the second one, I spun it just like I did the first one, but then I also, tilted it and maneuvered it. But I used this thing right here that has holes at the bottom, and it's still leaking. So I need a, but I like the way it looks in the cup too. But those are my paintings for today. I like the way they both came out. So different. And like I said, Terry, when we do talk, I can't wait for you to show us what other tricks you have up your sleeve and any other techniques. Because I do want to do, I guess it's called the swipe or no swiping. The swiping that you did, my favorite painting that you have, that we did from our live together. I want to try the swiping as well. Aw, you're so sweet in saying that. A man of war jellyfish. The second does look like Georgia O'Keeffe. I don't know who that is. You love the butterfly? This is my favorite right now. Yes, this is my favorite. Okay, it doesn't like it when I try to do landscape. Yeah, this is my favorite painting I've done so far. This has actually become my number one, because this used to be my number one. It's my number two. It's my number two now. This was my number one. This one I did use resin to coat the top, but this, I love the cell action that it gave me. And to me, my impression is that it's a beach. We're at the beach, and I'm a tropical girl, always and forever island girl. This was always my number one out of all the other paintings I've done over the years. This was my favorite, but now it has been knocked off its pedestal by my flower slash butterfly. I mean, I still love the other painting I just showed, but this is my number one. Very cool. Maybe I should take the torch to it one more time and see if I can still get any more cells to generate. Oh, I might have used it on that last run. Okay, no. Don't try this at home, children. Leave it to the professionals. I don't think I'm getting any more cell action. I think it's already starting the drying process. It's not wet enough to, it might still, as it's continuing to dry, more cells might still develop, or at least some of the cells that we see now will be bigger. So we'll see. We shall see. That's right. Well, I love it when you say that. If I'm inspiring others to get out there and do what they love, then thank you for saying that, Terry. And you're too cute, Tornado. Did my tropical girl in a digital world. Ain't that the truth? But I do want to try this technique again with the, I don't know what you would call it, dripping from the cup. I don't know, a drip technique. But I need to make sure that I do one of two things or maybe both. But when I create the hole at the bottom of the cup, I need to make it bigger, and or to the paint mixtures themselves, add just a little bit of water to continue to thin it out, or maybe even the medium. I just need to get the medium, and that'll help thin it out even more, and maybe that'll get me to get more um what do you call that, cell action going on too. But I definitely want to play around and do more of these techniques that we just did this morning and see what else we can come up with. I mean, I would love to try and see if using the acrylic paint, kind of like what I did with this one, to see if I can create, I mean, that would be using a lot of blues and greens. And I think that was a little bit of a pink or peach in there, or that could have been gold. No, that's not gold. But if I can recreate even something like this, with the giving me that, hey BC, um, the beach feel, impression. I would love to try and see if I can do this again. But we will just wait and see. So as you guys probably saw in the chat from Terry, again, y'all get out there and support each other. Everybody that's here, we all do a little bit of everything. That's why my channel is called Gig Life and More. You'll see a lot of me doing gig work with the hubby, but you'll see stuff like this, crafting, cooking, traveling. But a lot of us are within this same community, kind of doing the same thing with gig work, crafting, meat puppet delivery, and so many other things. So if you're new to my channel, and you're not familiar with any of the people that you're seeing in the chat, go check them out. And if you like what you're seeing, support their channel. And that's the other thing you got to remember. If you are joining someone's live stream that you don't know and you want to support their channel, don't just hit the like and the sub in the channel. You want to make sure you go and watch their short, even if it's just for like 20 to 30 seconds after you hit subscribe to their channel, because what that does is that it helps to solidify, to verify that your subscription to their channel is valid, and that it, more importantly, is that it'll stick. Because too many times, a lot of us know that we'll get a lot of subscribers, which is great during a live stream, but then the next day, a lot of those new subscribers would disappear because they pop into someone's live stream. They're like, okay, this is cool. Like, subscribe, but they don't do anything else. So again, just keep that in mind. If you come across a live stream and you like what's going on, you smash that like button and you go to their channel and hit subscribe. Go and watch one of their short videos and hit the like and even comment just to say, hey, awesome video, new subscriber here. Anything like that to help validate your subscription to their channel. But it is already 12 o'clock. I'm going to grab something to eat. And then the hubby and I, speaking of gig work, are going to get out there and try to make some money. Working all day today, tomorrow, and then Monday. It's going to be my first time. Have no idea what to expect. But I got jury duty Monday. No other, I don't know if it's just jury selection, if I'm going to be there just for 30 minutes, hour, few hours, I have no idea. Am I packing a lunch? But so I have no idea what to, what to expect out of this thing. But anyways, spend a few moments to check the channel out. It's okay to be picky about who you sub to. Make sure you enjoy the channel. That is true. Just tell them you could spot a guilty person from a mile away. Yeah. We'll see. We shall see. The only thing I know for sure is that it's not a grand jury. It just says that I've been summoned for jury duty. So hopefully it's nothing bad. But anyways, y'all enjoy your weekend. Please come back to my channel the next time I go live. Go check out my other videos if you haven't already done so. Sizu is Maasi. I'll catch you guys on the next video or live stream. Until then, please stay safe. Adios for now. Bye. Sizu is Maasi, which means thank you. Bye, y'all. Thank you for being here.